Cheevo, guys!
What up, guys? This is
Cheevo, guys!
back here again with another achievement guide. Today, we're going to be focusing on Distraint 2. This game was published by Ratalaika Games, and it was developed by Makkonnen. This game is going to be a pretty easy completion or platinum trophy. The completion time is anywhere from about an hour and a half to 2 hours. On top of that, it's only $8.99. So let's go ahead and dive into it, guys. I went ahead and skipped the intro cutscene. I'm also going to be skipping through a lot of the dialogue in effort to make this video guide quick and to the point. You can skip through the dialogue by pressing A. However, you still gotta wait, line by line, skip line by line until the dialogue is over. However, I really do recommend reading the dialogue and enjoying the game. The full experience is about, 2 to 3 hours if you're not watching a guide. The game has a great story, similar to the first one. This one might even be a little bit better in terms of the story, so I highly recommend reading everything. The first game was about seizing people's property in order to obtain payment of money owed. However, over the course of seizing all of those people's homes, your character that you play ended up feeling a lot of remorse and regret from doing all of these people dirty. So this one is about him restoring his hope and trying to find his purpose after he left that job that he really just couldn't handle. Now, in terms of how I figured all of this out, guys, I do want to give a shout out to Krysta off of the Steam community. He had posted a Distraint 2 full walkthrough and achievement guide for the Steam version. I'll make sure to leave a link in the description below for her Steam guide if you're interested in following a written guide instead. Other than that, guys, I'm going to be walking you guys through the full 1000 gamer score or platinum trophy here in this video. I'm going to be doing commentary for the full 1 hour. It takes a lot of work, so hopefully you guys enjoy this video. If it helps you out, go ahead and leave a like. And if you end up using the whole guide, go ahead and drop a hashtag Cheevo Clan in the comments. Also, if you haven't purchased the game quite yet and you're interested in doing so, I will have a link in the description below as always. Alright guys, so moving forward, I'm going to go ahead and talk about what's going on the screen, and we're going to walk you through everything. So we're going to start off by heading over to the right hand side. We're going to go into this door right before the couch. Now this is going to introduce the save system. The save system is represented by these green orbs. Before we head into the door, we're going to go ahead and save our game for the first time. After you save your game, we're going to go into this nearest door right before the couch. Once you enter the door, we're going to head over to the right hand side and we're going to go into the bathroom. It has like a male and female symbol on the door. We're going to walk over to the left and you're going to walk over to the shower and we're going to pull the pipe off of the shower. This is going to add the rusty pipe to our inventory. You're also going to get an achievement for finding the rusty pipe. That's called Break Stuff for 60 gamer score for breaking the shower. Now we want to examine the washing machine and we're going to exit the room. Now what we need to try to do is get the dial for the washing machine. So we're going to head over to this fireplace. We're going to use the rusty pipe to get something out of the fireplace. So you want to walk up and interact with the fireplace with the rusty pipe. You're going to pull something out of the fireplace and you just want to make sure that you pick it up. It'll be glowing to the left-hand side of the fireplace. Once you pick it up, you're going to realize that it is a washer dial, the dial for the washing machine. So what we need to do is head back into the restroom, the one with the male and female symbols on it, and we're going to walk in and attach the washer dial to the washer. So head over to the right. It is the last door on the right. We're going to head over to the left, and instead of interacting with the washing machine, you want to switch to the washer dial and then interact with the machine. This is going to attach the washer dial, and now we can actually examine it. Now this is going to be our first puzzle. I'll try to describe it in like clock format. First thing you want to do is move it to about 4 o'clock, and then you want to move it to about 7 o'clock, and then about 10 o'clock, and then about 2 o'clock. Hopefully that helps describe it. If not, just do what I did on the screen. That's going to solve the puzzle for the washing machine, and that's going to trigger some sounds to the left. What we want to do is just head out of the room, head over to the right. The door is going to close and the creature is going to appear. So what we want to do is hide in the closet. So just interact with the closet to hide in it until the monster passes. We're going to have to do this a few times. Eventually we're actually going to have to let the monster kill us for an achievement. That's one of the missable achievements or trophies. So let's see, the monster has almost passed, and once he passes we are going to leave the closet and go ahead and leave out of that room. However, the room has some bars on it right now, so what we have to do is open the washing machine first, and we're going to find an ice cube. After you pick up the ice cube, you should be able to go through the door on the right now. Yep, see, it opens. So we need to take the ice cube over to the fireplace to melt it, and then we'll be able to find out what's inside of that cube. Similar to what we did in the first Distraint. We had to melt an ice cube in that game as well. So you're going to use the rusty pipe to grab the item out of the fire once again. And this time we found a key. So you want to pick it up. It's to the right of the fireplace, glowing. Press pick up, and now we have a key. So we're going to be using that key to get into a certain room. We're going to head over to the right, go into the room with the green orb on it. That green orb, again, represents a save slot. So that's just letting you know you can save it here in this next room. Now, this room with the symbol on it, I'm not too sure what the drawing is of, but it's like a red and black symbol. You want to use the key on that door. Once you use the key on that door, it will unlock it. You can walk inside. And we're just going to walk all the way over to the right, and eventually this is going to trigger a cutscene with greed. Well, not a cutscene, but a bunch of dialogue. And again, I'm not going to be showing you guys all of the dialogue. Really, the whole point of this video is purely to just get all of the achievements or trophies. Not really, you know, if you want to watch a walkthrough and enjoy the game and read everything, you should probably watch a walkthrough with no commentary. This video specifically is an achievement or trophy guide. So we're going to get the rusty pipe and use it on this ring on the wall. We're going to be able to pop the ring off, and we want to pick up this ring. After that, we're going to go ahead and exit this room. And what this ring is it's actually a part of a puzzle that we're going to be solving. So exit this door. We're going to end up back in the red gaze part 1. You can tell the name of the rooms on the bottom right hand side. When you walk through a door, it says what room you are in. Sometimes in this video I'll be referencing the names of these areas, so just keep an eye out for that. Or if you're wondering how I know the name of all of these areas, it's as simple as it appears on the lower right hand side. For example, this area with the fireplace is called warmth and coolness. We just walked into the door all the way to the left. This room is called the source of the flame. What we want to do is interact with the couch. We're going to push the couch out of the way, and this is going to reveal the ring puzzle. What we need to do is interact with it with the ring that we found. So go up on your inventory and place the ring. Now we're going to be able to solve this puzzle. You can actually see what it looks like from here, but once it zooms in, we're going to need to copy this exact picture. So just follow what I do. You're just going to need to rotate a few rings to make the picture. Ultimately, you just want to get the same picture that I get, and then you'll solve it. So with the outer ring, you want most of the details on the bottom, and then you want to match that up with the next ring, and then just move the third ring a few times and you'll get it. You want to make sure it looks just like that. Ultimately, it's pretty easy if you know what it's supposed to look like. We're going to walk all the way to the left, go through the door, and we're going to head over to the right. The fire is out on the fireplace now. You want to investigate the fireplace. After that, a little cutscene is going to activate on the right hand side. The fear monster is going to start heading towards you. Now, what we want to do here is let him kill us, because there is an achievement or a trophy related to dying, as I mentioned earlier. So he's actually not going to kill you until he walks all the way to the left. Or actually, my bad, guys. You actually cannot die right here. You can die in future instances where the fear monster shows up, but it won't let you die at this moment. He's going to end up disappearing to the left. No big deal. We'll get that achievement next time we see the fear monster. We do get an achievement for finishing the prologue, though. That one is worth 80 gamer score for completing the prologue. So now we are in Chapter 1, Agony. So once you start off, we just want to head over to the right. This area is called Delusion Part 1. You're going to walk over until the notice board appears, and we are going to interact with the notice board. Then we are going to continue over to the right-hand side. You're going to find a save orb. Anytime you see a save orb, I recommend saving your game. There's really no disadvantage to skipping them at all, so anytime you see them, just make sure that you save it. After that, we're going to head over to the left, and then you are going to end up seeing some dialogue from somebody mysterious. And let's see here. After that, a phone booth is going to appear. For you youngins, you guys might not know what a phone booth is, but it's a booth where, you know, there used to be landlines back when cell phones weren't popular. So go in and interact with that phone booth. After that, you want to head over to the left. You're going to sit at the table and talk to your mom and dad. That's going to trigger a bunch of dialogue. Again, I'm going to skip through this in effort to make this quick and to the point. You're going to teleport to a much brighter area, not as dark and grungy. You want to interact with your house, and then we're going to continue to the right hand side, and you're going to find your little shed or your garage, whatever you want to call it, your tool shop, tool area. And what you want to do is go to your workbench and you want to grab the hammer and nails. It grabs them at the same time, so it's not two individual things that you have to grab, it's one thing. So just make sure that you grab the hammer and nails from your tool shed. Then we're going to continue to the left. You're going to pass your house. You do not need to interact with the potato farm. That was totally unnecessary. However, there is a little area where you can cut some wood. So what you want to do is cut a plank. You're going to interact with that. And once you have the plank, you can put the plank on the fence. And then once you place the plank, you want to switch to your hammer and nails and use that to interact on the fence. At that point, you are going to nail in the plank to the fence and you are going to fix the fence. That's going to unlock an achievement called Fix Stuff for 60 gamer score for fixing the fence. At this point, Reason is going to appear again and he's going to start walking towards you. What we need to do is talk to him. Sometimes he walks a little slow, so you may need to wait until he gets to where he needs to be to activate the glowing area where you talk to him. So just walk into the glowing area, interact, and you'll have a conversation with him. Again, I skipped through that. And then next we can go ahead and interact with the door on our house, or what we think is our house. I don't know if you could tell by how trippy the game is, but there are instances of the game where you have flashbacks, dreams, things like that. So once you're able to control your character again, what we want to do is head over to the left and save our game as usual, and we're going to go through the door. Now, first thing you want to do is talk to the dude with the mustache and glasses right here. That's Mr. Blackwell. What he's going to do is he's going to mention that he's really good at puzzles or whatever. He brags a lot. And we're going to walk into this door, and there's going to be an old man sitting on a couch with a puzzle, and he's having some issues solving this puzzle. So you're going to ask if you can solve the puzzle, so he's going to give it to you. He didn't want to, but his wife told him to, so you got the puzzle. Now, instead of solving it yourself, what you want to do is take the puzzle over to Mr. Blackwell, and we'll see if he's as smart as he says. We're going to leave that puzzle with him for a while. Next, you want to walk into room 22, which is going to be the nearest door. We're going to walk all the way over to the right, and you want to hide in the closet. This is Mr. Blackwell's room. He's going to walk in, and he's going to go into his safe. Now, while he's going into his safe, we're going to hear his combination. It is 649. Now, there's no need to remember that or write that down. Your character is automatically going to remember it because he heard it. So, before we exit the closet, we have to wait until Mr. Blackwell leaves his room. Now he's actually going to double take, and he's going to come back and get something from the closet. It's going to get super sketch, but then he doesn't go in the closet, and he decides to leave his room. So we got lucky, barely got away with that one. He's going to end up leaving his room. We can go ahead and exit the closet once he has left the room. After that, we're going to walk up and examine his safe. Your character is automatically going to put in his code, which was 649. After you have entered the combination, you are going to grab an item out of the safe. Now, you don't actually take this item in your inventory. You simply sabotage it. This is going to give you an achievement worth 60 gamer score called Sabotage. And this is because he was using a gadget to cheat at the local card game. And so what we did is we sabotaged his gadget where he pulls the aces out of his sleeve. So next time he plays a card game, he isn't so lucky at cheating. So we're going to exit that room. We're going to go in the room all the way to the right. It's room 26. And you are going to examine the green orb. Now this is similar to the saving icons. However, this green orb is just a little bit larger. Now once you examine this, this is going to trigger a flashback back when you were just a little boy and you were like scared of monsters. And once you get to this little cutscene or area of the game, you're simply going to walk from right to left until you have experienced all of the dialogue in this section. After you do that a few times, this section will be done with and you will end your flashback and go back to where we were at with that green orb. Basically what happens is your mom comes in to save the day, lets you know that everything's okay, and tells you goodnight. After that, again, we teleport back to where we were at, except the green orb is gone now. That was weird. Okay, so we're going to walk back over to the left. We're going to enter the door, and this is going to put us back into the hallway of what I think is some sort of retirement home. Now we want to go talk to Mr. Blackwell once again. He should be done with the puzzle. He's going to hand you the puzzle as proof that he solved it himself. We're going to walk over to room 24, enter, and we are going to give the puzzle to this old man sitting on the couch. He's going to be really surprised that you solved the puzzle because he thinks that you solved it. However, you finessed Mr. Blackwell into doing it for you. So anyway, what happens is it's time for the local card game here at this little retirement home. And basically the way it works is the person that wins the card game is able to leave. I'm not too sure what leave means, but it appears that these people have been stuck here for a very long time, and the only way out is this card game. See, the winner gets the right to leave. Let's play cards. So, we're playing with, all of these elderly men and women, and we are going to try to win this card game. Now, we don't actually control anything during this section of the game. However, you do get to see Mr. Blackwell try to pull an ace out of his sleeve, and, as mentioned before, we sabotaged his little gadget, so he made a fool of himself, showed that he was cheating, and the community did not like it. A matter of fact, they murdered him for it, so R.I.P. Mr. Blackwell. Thanks for solving the puzzle, though, man. Alright, so now we are past the little retirement home part of the game, and now we have teleported to a new area. So again, I'm going to go ahead and skip through the dialogue. We're going to head over to the right, and you're going to notice that the couch disappears. After it disappears, we're going to walk over to the room with a film reel icon on it. Once you walk through the door, we're going to look over to the left. You want to interact. You are going to plug in the projector, or the electricity, sorry. I think that just turns on the TV. You want to go interact with the TV. And basically the way it's supposed to work here is you're supposed to note the order of the 4 pictures that show on the TV, because we're going to have to remember that specific order for a puzzle that's coming up. So walk into the door all the way to the right. After that, a little, cutscene will activate with, I'm not too sure what they call that thing. I'm not too sure, but it looks like a clock. I think at the end of the game, they mention what it is, but I'm not going to spoil it, so we'll just call it the pink clock for now. So exit that room, walk to the right, and then Reason will approach you. You're going to need to talk to Reason for a while. again, going to skip through the dialogue. I recommend reading it though. And to talk to him, you need to make sure that you are standing in the glowing area. He won't just come up and talk to you. You do have to interact with the glowing area in front of him. So after you talk to Reason, something's going to fall off of the wall over here to the right. It is a film reel, and you want to make sure that you pick it up. And after that, you want to walk over to the left, and we are going to walk back into the film room. Now what we're going to do is we are going to take the film that we found, and we're going to take it to the cutting table. So interact with the cutting table with the film reel, and we're going to cut some film. Now what we want to do is put the pictures in order that they were placed on the TV. So it's the same for everybody. You can put them in the order that I just showed you on the screen. Feel free to rewind it if you need to. The order you want to put them in is the clock, the rocket, the wheelchair, and then the fourth one is the red one. I'm not too sure what the red thing is, but that unlocks an achievement worth 60 gamer score, guys. So we got another achievement or platinum trophy. Now you want to walk back into the hallway, and you want to put the film reel on the projector. After you turn it on, it's going to light up a new area, the bar, introducing the bartender, which is appropriately named Comfort. So we're going to talk to Mr. Comfort, and again, going to skip through the dialogue. Eventually, you are going to decide that you don't want to give in to drinking, and you're going to smash your glass. I think he was previously an alcoholic, so he's not choosing to drown himself in the alcohol at this point in his life. So we are going to head back over to the left. You're going to go into the door furthest to the left. After that, you are going to save your game in the little green orb to the left of the door. We always want to make sure to save our game, as I mentioned before, just in case, you know, the game freezes up or force closes, or who knows, your power goes out. You never know. Save your game. Next, we need to place 2 items on this little projector or camera, whatever you want to call it. We're going to place the bottle cap and the film reel. This is going to activate and project a picture onto the wall, which is eventually going to transform into a door. So now that the new door has arrived, we will be able to walk through. Once you get inside, you're going to end up on a stage in front of an audience. Again, another really trippy part of the game. They're all going to end up turning into like zombies and zombie elephants. The elephant is a reference to your favorite toy as a child. And then Agony appears. We are introduced to Agony. I don't know if you guys can tell, but a lot of these characters in this game are based off of different feelings that we have as human beings. You know, agony, greed, regret, ambition. There's all sorts of them in this game. Forgiveness. Alright, so we completed chapter 1. We got another achievement or trophy. That's going to activate another trippy little cutscene, whatever you want to call it. And then all of a sudden, we're going to end up in a beautiful area with, again, beautiful art. The art in this game is awesome. This is probably one of my favorite Ratalaika games, or favorite series that Ratalaika has released. This game's actually really high quality. And, you know, typically with these Ratalaika games, we don't even have to beat half of the game, but with Distraint 1 and 2, they have us complete the full game, and with that being said, you get the full experience, and ultimately, I really ended up enjoying Distraint 1 and 2. Personally, I read all of the dialogue on my playthrough, and, you know, I just cut through it and edited through it in my video footage for the guides, you know, just, again, in effort to make it quick and to the point, but great story, guys. Now, once we get to this area, it's going to introduce a fishing mechanic. What we need to do is catch 5 fish for an achievement or trophy. This one is missable, guys, so just make sure that you do not advance to the next part of the game or to the next level, because you will not be able to go back to this area unless, you know, you load up the last save that you made. Now, personally, it took a few minutes for me to catch the 5 fish. Pretty much what you have to do is just move your boat a couple feet and then put your line back out, and usually you'll find a fish. So catch a fish, move your boat up just a little bit, put your line back out, and then you should catch another fish. You're going to do this 5 times until you get your achievement for catching 5 fish. Again, this one is missable. This one is worth 60 gamer score, called Catch of the Century, for getting at least 5 fishes. Isn't the plural of fish, not fishes? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments. Anyway, guys, I'm fast forwarding through this. I ended up having to row all the way back to where I started, and then I rowed back to where I was fishing at, and then my mom ended up calling me, letting me know I gotta make it back over. My in-game mom, by the way, not my real mom. Basically what happens is your mom calls you and lets you know you gotta head back. But at this point, guys, you know, this area of the game has not ended yet. So if you haven't got your 5 fish by the time she calls you, it's no big deal. Just make sure that you keep fishing before you head back home. So yeah, biggest thing to note here is make sure that you catch 5 fish before you head back home to your mom, because if you pass it, you're going to miss out on this achievement, and you're either going to have to start from your last game save, or if you made a game save after this level, then you're pretty much screwed and you have to play the game over again to get back to this part of the game so that you can get the 5 fish achievement. So we are rowing back home. A matter of fact, I'm going to fast forward this just a little bit. After you get back, you're going to end up in a little cutscene where you're talking to your therapist. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through that. And we are going to be teleported right in front of the notice board, pretty much where we started the game. Now, my question is, why are there couches outside? Anyway, walk over to the right, save your game, and then you're going to continue over to the right. You want to enter the little cabin area, and we're going to walk over to the right and go through the door. Then we are going to continue to the right, and now we are going to find a house. Here we have another puzzle, guys, so just follow what I'm doing in the puzzle so that you can solve it yourself. So we're going to start off with this puzzle piece. We're going to move it up, and then we're going to take the one on the lower left, and we're going to move that one to the right. We're going to take the one on the middle left, move that down one. We're going to take the top left, move that down one. We're going to move the one that was to the right of that, move it left, and then we're going to take the one that was to the right. We're going to move that to the left. We're going to take the one to the right. We're going to move that to the left. Then we are going to move the one below and move that up. And then we're going to make that one go to the right. And then this one go up. Perfect. So that's going to solve that puzzle. And now we will be able to enter the house. We still need to find that last piece, though. The one that was represented by that red area. We're going to find that piece, and we're going to put it back where it belongs. So we're going to head over to the right. Sorry if I said we need to enter the house. We're not going to enter the house until we find that last puzzle piece for that red area. So interact with that green orb, and then that's going to trigger another flashback back at the table when you were just a young boy with your parents. Going to fast forward through that dialogue. And now we are going to teleport back to this house. Now, before you go into the house, we're going to head over to the left, go to the little cabin, garage, whatever you want to call it. And we are going to head over to the left, and you're going to see a safe with a bow on it. Now, you want to use the same code that we used, I believe, for Mr. Blackwell's safe. And what do we have here? A rusty old piece. Okay, so that is the piece to the puzzle that we needed, guys. So we're going to go over back to the front door. We're going to place this puzzle piece on the puzzle, and then that will gain us entrance to the house. Now, once you get into the house, we are simply going to head over to the left, and there is an entrance to the left. It isn't necessarily a door, but let's call it an entrance. You're going to enter through there, then you are going to head over to your right, and there is only one door to the right, so go inside of that door. After that, we're going to head over to the left, and we are going to take the light bulb off of this lamp. There we go, unscrew that, and now we need to go plug it in somewhere else. So we're going to exit out of the door that we came in through. However, you're going to have to wait for this little cutscene with this pink clock, whatever you want to call it. Again, I do know the name, but I don't want to necessarily spoil the game of what that represents. Now we are going to walk over to the left, you are going to walk through the entrance, but you have to wait until the monster leaves. Walk through. Now we are going to head over to the right, and you're going to pass the double doors. You're going to go all the way down, a matter of fact, and we're going to save our game. There is a green orb at the end of the hallway. Then you want to go through the nearest door, which was the last door to the right. After that, you want to head over to the left, and you're going to see a marked yellow area. Here you want to interact with the light bulb. Place the light bulb there. Now you will be able to examine a hole behind the couch now that it's lit up. That will prompt you to move the couch and enter inside of the hole. So, interact with the hole. We will walk inside, and now we are going to head over to the right-hand side. Keep walking down, and you're going to interact, and now we have another puzzle. Now, this one is a lot easier than the one where we were moving around pieces. For this one, you simply rotate them, and we have to create an anchor, guys. So just rotate the pieces as you see in this video, and you will solve the puzzle as well. So you want to start off with rotating the upper left block. We're just going to go from left to right in rows. So top row, middle row, and then bottom row. Again, the picture is pretty simple. It's simply an anchor. So just rotate all the pieces until you get a full-on anchor picture, and that is going to solve this puzzle. That one was nice and simple. So that's going to open that up. We are going to grab the item, and that is going to be a pendulum. So what we need to do is take this pendulum over to the grandfather clock. However, there is some mysterious man hanging out in front of the door now. But he eventually will disappear, guys, so just wait for him to disappear, and then we can go ahead and enter the room. Once you get back into the other room, you want to take the light bulb off of the lamp. We're going to need to take that back. You have to press examine to take it off, guys. Then we're going to run back over to the right, go through the door all the way on the right-hand side. Now we can go interact with the grandfather clock. You want to interact with it while using the pendulum. So use the pendulum on the grandfather clock. That is going to trigger a little cutscene, so wait for that. After a few seconds, basically what's going to happen is a new door is going to appear now that the grandfather clock is working. So, as you can assume, we need to go through that brand new door, so walk up to it and enter. And now we are going to put the light bulb here on this yellow mark. This is going to light up this room. And now we're going to walk over to the right, and you want to examine the box to take the fuse out. Perfect. And now I think we are good to leave the room, but first we're going to take our light bulb as always. After you take the light bulb, Greed is going to appear, and we do need to talk to him, so just talk to him. But again, I'm going to be skipping through the dialogue. After we're finally done talking to Greed, we can go ahead and exit the room. The door is on the left. It's kind of dark, but the door is on the left. After we get back to the grandfather clock hallway, we are going to head over to the right, and we're just going to save our game once again, just to be safe. Next, we're going to walk over to the left, and now the fear creature is going to appear again. Fear creature part 3. So now this is the time, guys, where we're going to get that missable achievement for dying. So just walk towards the creature. He's going to kill you, and we are going to unlock a missable achievement for dying by the hands of the creature. Let's see, 60 gamer score, called failure for failing in the game. Alright, so we got 2 missable achievements knocked out of the way. Very nice. So now that we got the achievement for dying at least once, or quote unquote failing, now we are going to run over to the left, and you want to hide in this closet until the monster passes. It's going to take a few seconds because, you know, the monster is really slow, but basically we have to hide in the closet until the monster passes. Once the monster passes, we can leave the closet. Now after you leave the closet, you're going to realize that there's all these like egghead dudes around here, and they're blocking all of the doorways. Now we're going to have to wait until they disappear. I found that if I walked all the way to the left, the one on the right ended up disappearing. I just needed to walk far enough to the left, and eventually he was gone. See, kind of trippy how that worked. So next I went ahead and walked through that door and then went back in, and when I went back in, the other guy was gone. So you should be able to walk through that entrance now all the way to the left, and then we're going to walk to the left. Once you walk in there, you want to walk into the next entrance with the little set of stairs. Walk over to the right. We're in an area called I Need Comfort now. Basically what we have to do is we just have to walk all the way to the right until Comfort appears, and once Comfort appears, we're going to talk to him for just a bit, and after he disappears, we can walk back to where we came from. So you want to walk to the left, walk all the way down, and then eventually you're going to see another lamp area marked with a yellow half circle. We're going to place the light bulb there, and that's going to light up this area, and it's going to reveal some stuff to the left of us, which is a fuse box. So as you can imagine, we need to put the fuse that we found inside of this fuse box, and that's going to drop a ladder going up to the attic. Alright, so now that we are in an area called What Happened to My Friend, which is the attic, we're going to walk over to this glowing yellow orb and interact with it. This is going to trigger another flashback back to our childhood, the childhood memory of moving out. So you're going to try to leave your room, and your mom's going to ask if you packed your toys yet. So we need to pack our two favorite toys, starting off with our teddy bear. So grab the teddy bear, and then next, once you have collected Mr. Armstrong, your teddy bear, we're going to put him in the box. After you put the teddy bear in the box, we are going to go grab our other toy, which is Mr. Snouty, the elephant. Grab him, and you are going to attempt to put him in the box. However, he's going to talk back to you and let you know that Mr. Snouty doesn't want to go into the box. So you are going to go put him inside of the circus tent. After the dialogue, just walk over to the circus tent in your room. It's over on the left-hand side, and you are going to use Mr. Snouty on the circus tent. That's going to put him in there, and you're going to hide him from your mom. I'm not too sure what that means. Maybe, the box was for toys that he couldn't keep anymore or what, but it appears that's what was going on. So you walk to your door, you let your mom know that you're ready, and then that flashback is going to end. So we're going to go back downstairs, exit the attic. You're going to take your light bulb as always, and we're going to walk over to the right. You need to walk into the open entrance, go down the little set of stairs. Once you get down the stairs, you are going to head over to the left and enter into the door, which is in a bathroom with, again, a male and female symbol on it. Once you get inside of the bathroom, or what appears to be some sort of laundry room, you are going to examine the tent behind the couch. That is the old circus tent from your childhood. Once you realize, you're going to move the couch to reveal it. Now you're going to find that your old stuffed elephant, Mr. Snouty, is located inside of the circus tent. So you want to grab him. Once you have collected your old toy, you want to exit your room. Not your room, the laundry room. Once you exit that laundry room, you're going to walk over to the right, go up the stairs into the open entrance. You're going to continue all the way down to the right into the double doors. They have like a bluish color. Once you're outside, you're going to end up in an area called a place of the stone. You want to head all the way over to the right, and you're going to find a little fountain. And you want to put your elephant, Mr. Snouty, on top of the fountain. I think that's a fountain. Anyway, some magical stuff's going to happen, and that's going to reveal a secret area underground. So you want to walk underground, and once we get to this underground area, it's called Loss, you're going to head over to the left past the dark, and there's going to be a lampstand. You want to put the light bulb there, and this is going to be our last missable achievement. This one's going to be worth another 60 gamer score called Light Error for finding the dancing bosses. Alright, so after that, we're going to take our light bulb, and we are going to go back over to the right hand side. Keep heading all the way down. You could save your game if you want. I always recommend saving it. And then we are going to end up in a little cafe area. You want to sit at the table, and then next thing you know, we're going to end up in another long conversation. Again, I'm going to be skipping through this. You're going to end up talking to a couple different people, starting with this guy, but then it's going to teleport you to your therapist, to the doctor's office, therapist office, whatever you want to call it, and you're going to talk to your therapist. After that, we have officially completed Chapter 2, so you will be unlocking an achievement worth 80 gamer score called Chapter 2, or trophy, depending if you're playing on PlayStation. You're also going to get another one for 60 gamer score called Beer, for grabbing a beer. This one is not missable. Unmissable, because it is story related. So, we got 2 easy achievements or trophies just for starting Chapter 3. You're going to end up in a conversation with one of your old friends, and you're going to head over to the right hand side. Now you're going to walk all the way down past all of these people, and you're going to walk past a little fire and roast, and you're going to find the beer kegs. Now what you want to do is grab a drink with your old buddy. You're going to put a couple down, and then you're going to head back over to the left. Now you want to pass all of these people, and you're going to get to like the little stage area or concert area, and right past that you're going to find your dog. So you're going to talk to her. Not too sure what your dog's name is. It probably says, I don't remember though. And I cut out all the dialogue, so there's nothing really to refer to, but let's just call the dog Shiloh. Kind of looks like Shiloh. Alright. Or actually, no, that dog had big ears. That was like a beagle. I don't know. Anyway, I'm looking too much into it. Reason's going to show up. You're going to talk to Reason. And then we're going to head back over to the left. Your old buddy is going to reappear, and he's going to hand you a note. He's going to mention that it's a really important note, but not to open it right away. He mentions that eventually you'll know when it's the right moment to open his letter. So I could imagine we're going to end up opening it eventually. Like he said, at the right moment. Now this lady right here represents love. I think she basically represents the ability of eventually finding love in the future, finding happiness in the future, and moving past, all of his grief. Yeah, see, she says, come find me. This game is definitely about mental health, if you guys haven't realized. A lot of these characters are represented by different feelings that we have as human beings. So, again, a really awesome story. I recommend reading it if you aren't already. So, if you're familiar with the first game, we are now in the area where Mrs. Goodwin lived back in the original Distraint. So, if this looks familiar, that is why. You want to save your game, head all the way to the right. You want to move the couch, and then you want to enter the door with a hole in it. After you get into this door, we're going to walk to the right, and we're going to find our first TV puzzle. Now, to solve these TV puzzles, we have to get both pictures to match. The controls for both pictures are on the right-hand side of the TV. So for the top image, we need to rotate 1 time, and then decrease 1 time. After that, we're going to go to the bottom image controls, and we are going to rotate 2 times, and increase 2 times. Again, rotate twice, increase twice. At this point, you should have solved the puzzle. Alright, so once we're done with the puzzle, we're going to exit through the door with the hole in it. We're going to end up back in the hallway, and we're going to see that one of the bars were released from that door. Ultimately, that's the door that we need to get into. So you're going to walk into the next door to the left. You're going to walk over to the right, and you're going to see this wheelchair rolling by itself with some ghost-like vibes. Now we're going to walk past this wheelchair, but first you can go ahead and examine it. Once you examine it, you're going to realize that you could tear a piece off of the wheelchair, and now we're going to walk into the door to the left of the wheelchair. You're going to walk over to the left of the stage, and you want to examine it. Next, what we could do is take the crank that we tore off of the wheelchair and plug it into the side of the stage. At this point, we will be able to examine or interact with it, and that's going to move the curtains on the stage, revealing a code, which is 649. Sounds familiar. Alright, so we're going to make sure just to examine it just in case. I'm not too sure if you actually need to press A on it or not. But before you leave the door, you're going to find that Reason appears once again. So as usual, anytime Reason appears, we're going to need to go walk up and talk to him because he's on our side. I mean, he's Reason. He's one of our best feelings we have, at least in this game. So after you talk to Reason, we're going to go ahead and exit the room. We're going to walk over to the right. You're going to walk past the wheelchair, past the door, and you're going to go to the door all the way on the right. It has a keypad on it. You're going to enter the code that we found on the curtains, which again was 649. After you enter in the code, it should turn green and it should unlock the door. We're going to walk through. This is the room that's called the machine that goes ping. You're going to walk up to the machine and you're going to turn it green on reception. This is going to unlock the achievement called Machine That Goes Ping for 60 gamer score for using the machine. After you do that, we're going to attempt to leave the room. However, you're going to end up in some dialogue with some of your inner demons once again. Make sure to exit the room. After you exit, we're going to walk over to the left, and the fear creature is going to appear for the 4th time. Once the fear creature appears, you are going to hide from it. Now, to do this, you need to hide into the closet to the right, in between the 2 doors. Again, you have to be patient until fear passes you. Once fear is gone, you are safe to leave the closet. After you exit the closet, you're going to head over to the left, and we want to go into the door all the way to the left. It's a double door. Walk into those double doors, and here we're going to find that this is the reception area. They actually call it the deception area. It's kind of funny. Well, maybe not that funny. Kind of sad. Make sure that you save your game, walk over to the deception area, and you're going to crawl through the window by interacting with it. Once you end up beyond the broken glass, we're going to go interact with the health kit or health cabinet, whatever you want to call it, on the right hand side. You're going to find a syringe. We're going to take that syringe and we're going to walk over to the left, and there's going to be a little puzzle here on the wall. We're just going to go ahead and solve it now while we're in here. Now you just want to make sure that you move these little laces to the same slots that I have them by the time I solve the puzzle. So this is how we do it. We're going to move all of them all the way to the right except for the top one. Leave the top one where it's at. After you do that, you need to make sure to pull the switch down. After you pull it down, that's going to solve the puzzle. Got it. Alright, cool. So after you do that, we're going to exit through the window that we crawled through. After we exit the deception or reception area, we're going to head over to the right. You can save your game. And once you save your game, we are going to walk into the double doors to the right of the save game orb. Once you walk in, you're going to see a egghead open up a gate. We're going to walk past him. That's going to unlock an achievement called Out of My Way for 60 gamer score for finding the usher. I don't believe that one's missable. That one is going to be story related. You want to walk into this door, and we're going to use the syringe on what appears to be this dead guy. Once you use the syringe on him, he is going to come back to life, and a code is going to be revealed on this little chalkboard. Now, there's no need to write it down or try to memorize it or anything like that. All you have to do is just go up and examine it. This is the instructions for the puzzle that we actually just solved. You see it's showing you move all of them to the right and keep the top one where it's at. That's just showing you how to solve the puzzle that I already showed you guys how to solve. Now that we have done that, we're going to walk into the room that the usher came out of, and there's going to be another TV puzzle. Now here's the instructions for this one. On the top image, we want to rotate it 2 times. After that, you want to shrink it 2 times. For the bottom image, we want to rotate 3 times and then increase it 3 times. Again, bottom image, rotate 3 times, increase 3 times. As long as you did that correctly, that will solve this TV puzzle. We are almost there, guys. Just about maybe 8 to 10 more minutes until we have this game finished and we have the full completion or platinum trophy. So, again, we just have to wait for this pink clock looking thing to finish up. After that, you want to walk over to the right hand side. You're going to have to continue to the right. Or maybe not. Actually, sorry. You got to head over to the left. The right won't get you anywhere. It's just dark. You have to exit out of the door to the left. And then we are going to head all the way over to the right. Once you get into the room with the machine that goes ping, we want to turn reception to red and we want to turn basement to green. After that, you want to press X to exit the puzzle. If you press B, it'll change the color of the light. So just make sure that you have the correct color and that you press X to exit. Alright, so now we're going to walk all the way back down to the left, go to the double doors, and because we enabled the reception area, we're going to be able to access this door that we weren't able to access before. So make sure you did that on the control panel. That will open up this door. We could walk inside, and once you get inside of here, you want to walk over to the left. Here we're going to find our third and final TV puzzle. For the top image, we want to rotate it 3 times, and then we want to increase 1 time. Again, rotate 3 times and increase 1 time. For the bottom, we want to rotate 2 times and then shrink 2 times. Again, rotate twice, decrease twice. That should solve the TV puzzle, our third and final one. And again, there's going to be some dialogue after. I'm just going to skip through this. Next, we want to exit this room. There is a save slot right there. However, the fear creature is about to appear, so don't bother saving it. You're more than likely going to have to, get in the closet first. So go into the closet until the fear creature has passed. You guys know the drill by now. Once he has passed, we're able to leave the closet, and then you can finally go ahead and save your game. Next, we want to enter the door nearest to that save slot, to the left of the save slot. Now, at this point, guys, you are going to be introduced to forgiveness. I'm going to be fast forwarding through this dialogue and cutscene. Now, this is going to wrap up the game. However, there is still an epilogue at the end, and we do need to complete the epilogue to get the full completion or platinum trophy. However, we are going to get an achievement worth 80 gamer score for completing chapter 3. So, now that we have the game completed, now we are in the epilogue, guys. So, we want to walk over and save our game as usual, first things first. Now, I gotta say, pretty much the rest of the game is pretty self-explanatory, guys. The epilogue, you're pretty much just walking right and left. You don't have to do anything fancy. You're just, talking to a lot of characters, and it's just kind of summarizing the game up. And it really wraps up in a good way. I really got to give props to the writers. I mean, the ending of the game was really, really good. Without revealing or spoiling too much, basically what it comes down to is that you end up talking to all of these different characters that represent different feelings that you have. Some are bad feelings and some are good feelings. And what it comes down to is that all of those feelings work together. And we need all of them to, be human and, have good morals and ethics. Again, kind of hard to explain. The game is a bit subjective in terms of, what kind of lesson you gain from the game. So I recommend reading it all yourself and experiencing it yourself. Now, before the game ends, you end up in another flashback back to your childhood, and you're waiting for your parents to get home, and you realize that a cop ends up knocking on the door, and what you have to do is go answer the door. And sadly, the police officer is going to give you the bad news, and he ends up telling you that your parents have both died inside of a car crash. Super sad story, but as I mentioned before, great writing. You definitely have to play both of the games, guys. If you're going to read through the second one, you got to read through the first one, because the writer and creator does a real good job of pulling everything together and making sure there aren't any plot holes or anything like that. For instance, there was a lot of flashbacks in the game of you and your parents, even in the first game, and they never told you, you know, how your parents died or anything like that. So revealing all of that information at the end of this game was really cool because it answered a lot of questions that I had while playing through the first game. Also, the elephant, as you can see, this elephant is chasing us right here, and this happens in the first game. The original Distraint, you get chased by an elephant in part of the game, and I was wondering, like, what the hell is going on in this game? What's up with this zombie elephant trying to kill you? And now it makes a lot of sense. The elephant is, you know, represented by the toy or your favorite toy growing up. Not too sure why it's demonized chasing you, but that's where the elephant comes from. Other than that, guys, you guys should be getting your last achievement for completing the epilogue. Once the epilogue finishes, just, you know, watch the rest of the dialogue and then you'll end up getting it. Other than that, that about wraps up my achievement and trophy walkthrough for Distraint 2. This video took quite a lot of effort, you know, considering I voiced over a 1-hour video. So if this helped you get your full completion or platinum trophy, I'd really appreciate if you left a like and a comment. As always, I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, leave that comment and don't forget to like and subscribe.